I
Hey,
believe it
good
now.
morning. How's it going? Good afternoon. It just turned 12 o'clock for us, and here we are, HFNC at Facebook Live with our mugs in hand because it's coffee talk time. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm happy to see you, Brian, after the weekend. And um, I didn't really do much because, it's funny. I was able to make it through the entire week, and then I pretty much just fell apart
Me
on
too.
Friday. Oh, no
Me
way.
too. I was so tired at the end of the week. I was telling Andrea I felt okay on Tuesday, like, continuing to wrap things up. And then like progressively each day, I just got more exhausted as it went. Yeah, so
Oh, that's
it felt
funny.
really nice to catch up on things this weekend, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and maybe you want to tell people why we were so
Yeah,
exhausted.
why were we so tired? So if we weren't on Coffee Talk last week because we were running our golf tournament, which was great and a lot of fun. But it's funny, we were like out of shape, both like physically and like lifting all the boxes back and forth between a physical event, because we haven't been doing that obviously lately, but also just the like mental energy that it takes to be in person hosting an event for like a 12-hour day that we both did. I think we both got to the golf course around 7:30, and we that's about the time in the PM side when we left. So plus the drive there and back. So very very long day on Monday, through the rain and everything. But yeah. But we persevered and we survived, and kudos to all those that showed up despite the rain and participate, and make it a successful fundraiser, in all the ways. So in terms of people showing up and supporting the foundation, first and foremost, that was great. But also I think people had a really good time, and really appreciated being able to get together, and that was really really nice for kind of our donors that have been a part of the golf tournament for years, and really appreciate kind of that avenue, to give. We had our camp speakers share and move people. I know I was very moved to hear some of our camp speakers this year. I know Ashley shared that on our recap meeting last week as well, just like how moving it was to hear kind of the how some of our young men grew up, as boys at camp, and were so, I don't know, just touched through the process and couldn't wait to like be an adult and to give back and volunteer, and to continue to do that for as long as they possibly can. Is kind of the message, and that was the spirit that, for those that don't know, that really sucked me into the community. Was hearing the camp stories and whatnot. Bobby Wiseman was one of the first people I met, at the foundation, and whatnot, and because he was a part of the walk at the time, and that's kind of how I got started, was with the walk, and just really sucked me in. And then once I saw camp in person, coming from a camp background, that's what I used to do in my previous work. So yeah, it just really really special. I could go on and on about how magical that moment, those moments are, but yeah. So we missed last week's coffee talk. We had a great fundraiser for golf. We had all sorts of fun. We had people win really cool sports packages. People are now, our community members are going to be going to 49ers games and Sharks games and all these great things that we had, like getting given away through raffle tickets and live auction items and whatnot. So yeah, it was just a really great experience. And again, first and foremost, we raised a good chunk of money. We knew it was going to be lighter than normal, just given that we didn't have a full field that we normally would, with the pandemic and with the weather that we had. But we did well, despite that, at least, from what we were thinking. We were expecting the worst, and we did a little bit better than that. So that's good. So exceeded our very low expectations. So that's very good, for us. And yeah, we I'll share, I guess, one last thing, Ash, before I pass it back, is that Andrea's missing, and oh, I can't share my screen. Ashley, I was gonna like slyly pull up Andrea's photo, but I don't have permission to do that until you give
Oh,
me so.
I
Um,
would be happy to give you permission. Hang on. Um, but yeah, she is on a well-deserved vacation.
yeah, she hasn't taken a break since starting last year in May, right? She started right when we had our virtual walk, like our come together event in 2020. In the pandemic, hadn't met a lot of people and whatnot. and just kind of powered through, to now. So it's gone almost, over a year, almost 18 months here of just working hard, getting to know the community, and whatnot. So she sent us this photo of what she's doing today on a Monday, um, and whatnot. So you can see her here enjoying. Is this Utah? I think is where she was going. So I know she was going to the canyon lands and all those pretty rock formations that are in southern Utah, northern Arizona out there. So I'm sure she'll tell us all about it when she gets back in a couple of weeks. But she'll be back kind of that week before Thanksgiving. So much needed break for Andreas. We're happy for her, and whatnot. So it'll be Ashley and I holding down the fort at the foundation for the next few weeks. And yeah, getting things ready for the next few activities and the holidays that are coming up. So I know the last thing that I have to share and whatnot is that we have our board meeting. We'll still have our board meeting next week, and it's our last one of the year. So if you want to come say hi to the board, or share any thoughts or whatnot, you can sign up online at hemofoundation.org, click on events, and kind of register for the board meeting, and share your input. Get involved in that way. It's always really cool that HFNC opens up its board meetings to the public. I have been connected to other nonprofits. That's not how a lot of nonprofits run. So for those that are interested, it's a cool thing to take advantage of, and interact with the board members, and share kind of what's going on in the community. So encourage everyone to do that.
And another thing you can do is ask a question when you're registering
Yeah.
for that board meeting. If you have a question about anything HFNC.
Yeah. From about how the board works, plans for the foundation, what's the plan for the money we raise from the golf tournament, you name it. Feel free to ask the board, and we'll get them those questions, and that way whether it's Don, our board president, or someone from the board, will give you those answers at the meeting.
Thanks for that update, Brian. The golf and silent auction have in the past
right
tied together, and so I'll just share a little bit about the silent auction. People were able to get their holiday shopping done. I know I purchased a wedding gift. I know there's a lot of people that are going on vacations now because they're able to get that deal. That we're really happy that we're able to offer that. It, as I said in the past, has been tied to the silent auction. So a lot of people were able to take their things home, to the golf event, from the golf event. So that was really nice. They got to go home with their winnings in their hand. And then for the rest of them, everything got shipped out on Friday. So there are a couple of items that are at a different location, and those people have been notified that those items will be coming along. So those that bid on gift certificates, look for those in your mail. Look for your box in the mail. It has the HFNC sticker on it, like the logo behind me. Can't miss it. So I'm excited for everybody to get their items. And then talking about exciting, we've got some in-person events coming up. I can't believe it. So yeah, the first one we have coming up is November 18th. It's a Thursday night. It's in San Jose. We're going to play Loteria. And this one's going to be sponsored by Novo Nordisk. So we'll hear from them. And this is a bilingual event. So Spanish speaking, English speaking, any speaking, come on down. Just register at hemofoundation.org events. And then another event, this one is all Spanish, on December 2nd at one of our favorite places, Tarpey's in Monterey. And this is by BioMarin, and it's gene therapy. So it's a nice live introduction to our Spanish-speaking families in that area to gene therapy. And we're grateful to BioMarin for that opportunity. And then, Brian, the last thing that I think I have to talk about is our winter cheer event. So we've got Santa and Mrs. Claus coming to talk to the children and find out what's on their list. And then we've got families that are going to be able to decorate gingerbread houses. I'm
Fun.
curious if you and your family have talked about this. Maybe too early. I don't know.
Yeah, it was funny when we mentioned it to the board that, hey, this is, coming up and whatnot, just a few weeks ago. And Dr. K was like, that sounds great. And like wanting to like bring her, grandchildren and whatnot, to the event and do that, and kind of enjoy the virtual artistic expression of gingerbread houses. I used to do it in my after school programs every year.
Oh,
But we would do graham crackers and things because it was a little
oh
bit
yeah,
easier to buy Costco sized boxes of graham crackers than to make that much gingerbread.
yeah.
But it was always really fun to have the kids decorate it. And they had a great time, and we made a lot of different awards for just like different ways, themes and expressions and whatnot. And it was always a lot of fun. It was a fun getting towards December, wrapping up the year kind of activity. So I love that process of making a gingerbread house and whatnot. I think
Yeah.
it's very fun. And I always like to make something very silly when I was doing it to kind of encourage the kids to like, it's okay to be different, right? And I would always like do my house or like upside down or do something very different, to be like, what? Oh, if the leader's like comfortable, like laughing at himself, making it this way, then like I
Yeah,
should be okay with however mine looks
that's
and
great.
whatnot was always kind of the space I tried to hold for everybody.
I love that. Well, and
Yeah.
I think that we're probably going to see some of that because we've got our community member Stephanie Rebello, who's going to be kind of
Oh,
helping
right.
us, yeah, leading our craft, so to speak. So I'm super excited to see what she brings. But that is on December 4th. It's at 11 a.m., 11 to 12. If you live in our area, and when you're one of the first people, 20 people to register, we'll send you the kit.
Mm,
And you can also just grab your own or make your own, like you said, with the graham crackers and the icing, and that's always fun too.
yep. Yep.
So anyway, I think that's about it for coffee talk.
I I thought of one other thing,
Oh
Ash,
yeah,
that it will be coming this week. The online registration for Family Camp will open later this week. And that's really exciting. As we were talking before, it's like, wait, let's make sure that one slipped my mind. But later this week, Family Camp registration will be coming. It's going to be in March. It's like that middle weekend in March. I think we said it was like the 12th, Ash, or whatever that Saturday is.
yes,
Um, yes. So it's going to be a single day event. So, in the effort of making sure that family camp could happen in person this year, we went with the lowest risk barrier of, we don't have to figure out people traveling and staying overnight in same cabins and any of that stuff. And the Taylor Family Foundation that hosts us every year really encouraged us to think about how we wanted to try to do camp this year in an effort of making sure that we could do it. And so, in conversations with them and in conversations with a few community members out there, we landed on we're going to do it as a single day event. We're just going to show up for the day at the Taylor Family Foundation. We'll still get to do the art projects and, do some fun games, have the parents get to talk with, the doctors and nurses, have the kids go do the rock wall, maybe some horseback riding still potentially, some of the same fun family camp activities, but just kind of for the day. And then we'll go home. So I know that might be a little bit more challenging on our farther away families, and maybe we'll talk a little bit more with them about how to pull that off. But ultimately, being able to get some families together in person, especially those families that are a little bit newer to the community or have young children, it'll be really great to bring them back. And so we're really excited. We're also kind of getting our creative thinking cap on of like how to pull it off, as best we can and safely, and whatnot, knowing that we'll have a lot of kiddos around, and whatnot. So yeah, so stay tuned for that. That the registration will be coming out. The registration is really simple. It's just going to be, your name, your phone number, all the basics, signing up thing, and then we kind of review that in a few weeks, kind of after Thanksgiving, and kind of officially accept people, in like mid-December. But so the registration will be kind of, hey, like get your name in the list, and then we kind of will approve. What families could come. The nice thing about doing the day event is we actually won't be beholden to how many cabins we can fit people in. So potentially we might be able to open up bigger than normal. We'll see, what our responses are. But that's kind of something to stay tuned for. And just always want to put it out there. Anyone who hears this and goes, "Well, I want to get involved," or I have a concern that I wish to share, reach out to us, get connected. Ashley and I always really appreciate just more input in what we're doing. Sometimes we feel like an island on occasion, in some of our planning. So anyone who wants to get involved or just share, why don't you try this, or have you thought about that? Like, very helpful. We would love to get community member input on everything that's going on at the foundation. So, but yeah, so family camp, yay, in March.
Excellent. I'm so glad you mentioned that, and also people getting involved. Thank you for mentioning that too. So, gosh, I'm looking forward to all the cool stuff we have coming, and it was great chatting with you this morning.
Yep.
Mugs up.
See you, everybody.